In today's journey, we will uncover the extraordinary life of the Kākāpō, the world's only flightless parrot and one of the rarest birds alive. Deep in the silent forests of New Zealand, this gentle nocturnal bird has survived against impossible odds for millions of years. From a tiny, vulnerable chick to a powerful symbol of hope and conservation, the story of the Kakapo is emotional, mysterious, and truly unforgettable. So sit back, relax, and join us on this incredible journey into the hidden world of one of nature's unique survivors. And if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and discover more fascinating wildlife stories from around the world. Deep in the ancient forests of New Zealand, where thick moss covers the earth and mist drifts silently beneath towering trees, lives one of the strangest and rarest birds on earth, the Kakapo. Known as the world's only flightless parrot and also the heaviest parrot alive, the Kakapo is a creature that seems almost unreal, as if it belongs to another age of the planet. Its common name is Kākāpō, a Maori word meaning night parrot, while its scientific name is Strigops habruptilis. It is classified as a bird belonging to the animal kingdom, the parrot order Psittaciformes, the family Strigopididae, and the genus Strigops. Unlike most parrots that fly noisily through tropical skies, the Kakapo lives a secretive life on the forest floor, moving quietly through darkness, like a ghost of prehistoric times. It is not just rare, it is a living relic of evolution, a survivor from a world long vanished. The story of a Kakapo begins with silence. In the dense forests of New Zealand's offshore islands, a female Kakapo searches for a safe nesting place, hidden beneath roots, hollow logs, or thick vegetation. Unlike many birds that build visible nests high in trees, the Kakapo nests on the ground, trusting the isolation of its island home to protect its young. The female lays between 1 and 4 eggs, usually during years when native rimu trees produce large amounts of fruit. This unusual breeding cycle means Kakapo do not reproduce every year. Sometimes several years pass before conditions are right. The mother alone incubates the eggs for about 30 days, leaving only briefly at night to feed. During this vulnerable time, the nest must remain hidden, because even small predators can destroy an entire generation. When the chicks finally hatch, they are tiny, blind, and helpless, covered only with soft, pale down. Their mother feeds them carefully with partially digested plant matter gathered from the forest. Slowly, the chicks grow stronger, opening their eyes to a dark green world of ferns, moss, and shadows. Unlike fast-growing birds that quickly learn to fly, young Kakapo develop slowly. They remain dependent on their mother for months, learning how to climb, forage, and survive in the strange nocturnal world they were born into. Even at a young age, they already display the unique personality of the species, curious, gentle, and surprisingly intelligent. As the Kakapo matures, its appearance becomes truly remarkable. It is unlike any other parrot on Earth. Adult Kakapo can weigh between 2 and 4 kilograms, with males often much larger than females. Their feathers are soft green mixed with yellow, brown, and black patterns that perfectly mimic the forest floor. This camouflage helps them disappear among leaves and moss. Their face resembles that of an owl, with fine feathers surrounding the eyes and beak, giving them a wise and ancient expression. In fact, the Kakapo is sometimes called the owl parrot. Its large gray beak is powerful enough to crush tough plant material, while its strong legs and feet allow it to climb trees despite being unable to fly. Instead of soaring through the sky, the Kakapo uses its wings for balance, spreading them while jumping or climbing. Its body is heavy and round, giving it an almost comical appearance. but every feature evolved perfectly for life in New Zealand's predator-free forests. For millions of years, New Zealand had almost no land mammals. Without predators like cats, foxes, or wolves, many birds evolved in unusual ways. The Kakapo lost the need to fly because escaping danger was rarely necessary. Instead, it became larger, stronger, and more energy efficient. It spent its nights walking through forests, feeding on leaves, seeds, bark, roots, fruits, moss, and flowers. The Kakapo is an herbivore and does not hunt other animals. Rather than hunting prey, it slowly forages across the forest floor, using its excellent sense of smell to locate food. This is another unusual feature, because parrots are not generally known for strong scent abilities. Scientists believe the Kakapo may have one of the best senses of smell among birds. Sometimes it climbs high into trees to feed on fruits and leaves, using its beak almost like a third foot for support. During the day, the Kakapo usually rests hidden beneath vegetation or inside natural shelters. It is nocturnal, meaning it becomes active mainly at night. As darkness falls, it begins wandering through the forest in search of food. Although it cannot fly, it is an excellent climber and surprisingly agile on rough terrain. Some Kakapo create networks of trails through the forest that they use repeatedly for navigation. These pathways can remain visible for years. The bird's movement is slow but determined, and despite its size, it can travel several kilometers in a single night. Kākāpō are generally solitary birds. They do not form permanent flocks like many parrots. Each bird lives mostly alone except during breeding season. However, they are highly expressive and communicate through various sounds, body movements, and scents. One of the most fascinating and untold aspects of the Kākāpō is its unique mating system. During breeding season, males gather in special display areas called leks. Each male digs bowl-shaped depressions into the ground and creates pathways between them. Then, night after night, the males produce deep, booming calls that echo through valleys and forests. These sounds are among the lowest frequency calls made by any bird and can travel several kilometers through the night air. The booming may continue for hours, sometimes every night for months. Females travel long distances toward the most impressive males, choosing mates based on the quality and power of their calls. It is one of nature's strangest and most ancient courtship rituals. After mating, the male takes no part in raising the chicks. The female alone returns to her hidden nest to continue the cycle of life. This difficult reproductive process is one reason why the Kākāpō population grows very slowly. Unlike many birds that breed every year and raise large numbers of young, the Kākāpō depends heavily on rare environmental conditions. Some individuals may produce only a few offspring in their entire lifetime. The Kākāpō also has an incredibly long lifespan. Scientists believe some individuals may live between 60 and 100 years, making them among the longest living birds on Earth. This long life means each bird carries decades of experience and survival knowledge. Conservation workers often describe individual Kākāpō as having distinct personalities. Some are shy and cautious, while others are playful and curious around humans. One famous Kākāpō named Sirocco became internationally known for his unusual friendliness and interactions with wildlife filmmakers. Stories like these helped people around the world connect emotionally with the species and understand its importance. Despite its peaceful existence, the Kākāpō's survival has been filled with tragedy. For thousands of years, it lived safely in New Zealand's forests with few natural predators. But everything changed when humans arrived. The first Polynesian settlers, the Maori people, reached New Zealand around 700 years ago. They hunted Kākāpō for food and used their soft feathers for clothing and decoration. However, the greatest danger came not from hunting itself, but from animals brought by humans. Rats, dogs, and later European settlers introduced cats, stoats, and other predators into the islands. The Kakapo had evolved without mammalian predators and had almost no defense against them. When threatened, the Kakapo's natural instinct is to freeze and rely on camouflage instead of running away. This strategy worked against birds of prey, but failed completely against mammals that hunted by smell. The Kakapo also has a surprisingly pleasant scent, sometimes described as sweet or floral, which made it even easier for predators to locate. Slowly, populations disappeared across mainland New Zealand. Forest destruction added another layer of danger as humans cleared land for farming and settlements. By the 20th century, the Kakapo was on the edge of extinction. For a time, scientists feared the species might already be gone forever. Only a handful of individuals remained hidden in remote forests and islands. Then began one of the greatest wildlife rescue efforts in history. Conservationists launched intensive programs to save every surviving bird. Remaining Kakapo were carefully relocated to predator-free offshore islands, where cats, rats, and stoats could not reach them. Each bird received a name, medical care, and constant monitoring. Tiny transmitters allowed researchers to track their movements day and night. Some birds even received supplementary feeding during breeding years to improve chick survival. Today, every single living Kakapo is known individually by conservation teams. Their eggs are sometimes incubated artificially, and chicks are hand-raised if necessary. Genetic diversity is carefully managed because the population became so small that inbreeding threatened the species' future. Modern technology now plays a major role in protecting these birds. Drones, DNA testing, satellite tracking, and specialized veterinary care are all used in the fight to save them. The Kakapo became a symbol of conservation hope, proving that humans can still protect species pushed close to extinction. The relationship between humans and the Kakapo is deeply emotional and culturally significant. For Maori communities, the bird has long been part of traditional stories and ecological knowledge. Today, conservation efforts often work closely with Maori cultural values, recognizing the Kakapo as a taonga, or treasured species. Internationally, the bird has become a symbol of endangered wildlife and the fragile balance of island ecosystems. People are fascinated not only by its rarity, but also by its personality and uniqueness. Few animals inspire such affection. Unlike aggressive or fearful wild birds, many Kakapo appear gentle and curious, approaching humans without fear, a heartbreaking reminder of how isolated and predator-free their world once was.
One of the lesser-known facts about the Kākāpō is how physically adapted it is for climbing rather than flying. At night, it often climbs trees to feed on fruits and leaves. After descending, it may spread its wings and leap downward, gliding awkwardly to the ground. Although incapable of true flight, these short, controlled descents help it move through rugged forest terrain. Another untold detail is the complexity of its facial feathers, which function almost like sensory whiskers, helping the bird navigate in darkness. Scientists also discovered that Kākāpō produce a strong, musky odor that may help them recognize one another. The Kākāpō does not migrate like many bird species. It spends its entire life within relatively small forest territories, depending on stable habitats and seasonal food sources. Because it evolved in isolation, it lacks many survival behaviors seen in other birds. Yet this same vulnerability makes it one of evolution's most extraordinary masterpieces. Every aspect of its biology tells the story of an ancient ecosystem untouched by mammals for millions of years. As old age approaches, a kakapo's movements become slower, feathers lose some of their brightness, and climbing becomes more difficult. Still, these birds can survive for decades, quietly wandering through the forests they have known their entire lives. When a kakapo eventually dies, it marks more than the loss of a single bird. Each individual represents irreplaceable genetic history and decades of conservation effort. Because the population remains critically endangered, every life matters enormously. Yet, despite all the hardships, the kakapo's story is not only about extinction. It is also about resilience, dedication, and hope. From just a tiny surviving population, careful conservation has slowly increased their numbers. Though still critically endangered, the species continues to fight for survival. The forests of New Zealand still echo the deep booming calls of male Kākāpō during breeding seasons, a sound that nearly disappeared forever. Each new chick born is celebrated around the world as a symbol that extinction is not always inevitable. The Kakapo reminds humanity that evolution can create creatures beyond imagination, a giant nocturnal parrot that forgot how to fly because its world once felt perfectly safe. But it also warns us how quickly ecosystems can collapse when balance is broken. Few animals reveal the consequences of human impact so clearly. At the same time, few animals demonstrate the power of conservation so beautifully. The survival of the Kakapo depends entirely on human protection now, and every person who learns its story becomes part of that effort. In the dark forests of New Zealand, beneath ancient trees dripping with moss and rain, the Kakapo still walks slowly through the night, carrying millions of years of evolutionary history in its soft green feathers. It does not roar, hunt, or dominate the wilderness. Instead, it survives through quiet endurance, hidden among shadows, a living reminder that even the strangest and most fragile creatures deserve a place in the world. The story of the Kakapo is more than just the life of a rare bird. It is a powerful reminder of how fragile and precious nature truly is. From its quiet beginnings as a helpless chick to becoming one of the world's most endangered and extraordinary parrots, the Kakapo has survived countless challenges through resilience, adaptation, and the dedication of people determined to protect it. Hidden within the ancient forests of New Zealand, this gentle, flightless bird continues to fight for survival, carrying with it millions of years of evolutionary history. Its deep, booming calls still echo through the night, reminding us that even the rarest creatures deserve a chance to survive and thrive. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the incredible life of the Kakapo. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing wildlife stories from around the world. Until next time, keep exploring the wonders of nature.